Happy New Year and welcome to episode 316 of the Filmmakers podcast. This is a podcast where we talk filmmaking, from indie film to TV to animation to studio films and everything in between. How to get them made, how to make them, and how to try not to F it up, in our very, very humble opinion. I'm Giles Alderson. I'm a writer, director and a producer, and on this week's episode, the first of 2023, we have on the team behind The Payday, which includes director and producer Sam Bradford, producer, writer and actress Kyla Frye, and writer and actor Sam Benjamin. We sat down, the four of us, to have a chat all about how they went as a team from their short film Double Cross to their feature film The Payday, and how you can too. We talked all about how music can be used as an unlocking mechanism for characters, how you can go from short film to making a feature film for the first time. We also talked about what it was like writing The Payday, sort of structure and working as a trio. We also talked about knowing your budget and what it's like for mums to go back to work. And finally, how they made it, why having belief is so important, and why you should just jump in. That is all coming up for you, ladies and gentlemen, on this week's Filmmakers podcast. I hope you're all right. I hope you had a lovely Christmas and New Year. And I hope that you take things into your own hands this year. I want you to make things happen. I want you to be creative, productive, and get rid of any negative or those envious vibes. Positive. Be happy. Be happy for others. It's 2023. Life goes by so fast, so don't wait. Make this year the year you pushed even harder and made it happen, even more so for you. So here is to a happy, prosperous and fulfilling year. Let's do this, people. Let's do this, filmmakers. Let's do it. If you have listened to the podcast before now, you will know we've been doing this for over 5 years. We have a whole back catalogue of podcasts, episodes for you, from Oscar winners, BAFTA winners, right down to indie filmmakers like today's guests, who just went out and went, we're going to do it. We're going to make a feature film. We're going to deal with the issues as they turn up. But we're going to be prepared. And that's what you need to be. You need to go out there and be prepared, and the best way to do that is have as much knowledge and information about filmmaking as you can. So why not dive in and listen to our back catalogue? Go in there. Go to our website, thefilmakerspodcast.com, find the search bar under podcasts, and search independent film. Search making your first film. Search micro-budget indie film. And you will find the ones you're looking for. Or studio film, if that's your step next. Whatever is happening, I want you to go and make your film, and I want you to be armed with as much information as possible, including distribution. There are episodes on that as well. So, apart from me trying to persuade you to have an amazing 2023 and do everything you can in your power to make that happen, and now want you to get the most out of this episode. They're full with information, facts of making a feature film themselves and going out there and doing it. This is Sam Bradford, the director, producer. This is Kyla Frye, the actress, writer, producer, and actor-writer Sam Benjamin, talking about their film, which is out now on Sky and on Amazon, called The Payday. Go watch it. But for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Welcome to the show, guys. Sam Benjamin. Hello.
Hello there. How are we all doing?
Yeah, good. Kyla Frye.
Hello.
Hello. And Sam Bradford. Hiya.
Hi.
So we had nice Christmases. Let's start there. Let's have a fun chat. Because it's the first one of the new year for the podcast.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
New Year.
Thank you, Kyla. Thank you. So, how are we doing? We all right? Kyla, let's start with you. How was your Christmas? Was it nice?
It was great. I had 12 people over. Well, it was 12 of us in total, hosting, cooking dinner, opening presents. I've got 2 little ones, so
wow.
it was a house full of joy and merriment.
Oh, how beautiful. 2 little ones. How old are they?
They are 2 and 3.
So for them, this was pretty special.
Yeah, this was the first Christmas that we laid out reindeer food, and we were waiting on Santa, and we're talking about if you don't go to sleep early, the Santa magic won't work, and all that sort of stuff. So it was
setting the rules down early.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really, really lovely, and the family stayed for a couple of days after as well. So no one went home until the 27th. So it was quite nice.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Did you watch any cool films?
Pinocchio. I thought,
the Del Toro one.
Yeah, I thought that was just. It was just like I'm a big Disney fan, so I was really looking forward to seeing the Guillermo's version of it, and I just thought it was just such a unique and wonderful, wholesome take. And I wasn't expecting it to be a musical either. So the music, the song choice, was fantastic. And I saw Glass Onion the other night as well, which I thought was absolutely brilliant.
Yes.
And more in keeping with what me and the boys do here as well. So, yeah, I love those two.
Yeah, no, they're two great choices there. Yeah, I watched The Glass Onion. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I made a short film with Jessica Hennick, who stars in that as well.
Nice.
So when we were both coming up and making movies together, and she's flying now. She's doing The Matrix and all sorts. She's doing very, very well. Did you boys watch Glass Onion? Was that one on your list? Sam Benjamin, start with you.
Yeah, I saw it. I actually saw it in the cinema, and then someone invited me to a screening of it. So I'd seen it twice on the big screen, and then when I went home, I watched it with my mom and my brother. So I had three helpings of it, and every time Daniel Craig's Benoit Blanc. I just love that guy, and I thought him and I want to follow up with him and Janelle Monáe as a double team. I thought it was very good, very good.
Sam Bradford, did you watch it?
I did,
part of this gang? Yes.
Yeah, I'm part of the gang. I saw it in the cinema as well.
There you go.
Yeah, look at this. Me and Kyla didn't. Damn.
It was great. It was a really good watch. And I think, I can understand why people want to see more from Daniel Craig in that. I think it's very strong. It's really, it's fun as well. It's a really fun movie, I think. Yeah.
I've actually got some of Jared Leto's kombucha right now on the go.
Have you?
It is quite potent.
Jared Leto. I love the name drops in it. I actually really enjoyed a lot of the in-jokes and the fun. And I think movies like that, they're for us, aren't they? It's like, that's what it's about, making movies. It's like that, and that's what's so fun about The Payday as well. It's wonderfully made. But yeah, things like The Glass Onion, just these are the kind of movies you kind of like aspire to and go, yeah, we can make this, and everyone can be happy watching it, and there's no real stress, there's no pressure. I loved it. So, Sam Bradford, did you have a lovely Christmas? What else did you watch? Any other cool movies came your way?
I did. Yeah, I had a great Christmas. I managed to watch Spirited actually.
Yes.
I love that. I thought that was really the music was fantastic.
I love the score to it and the songs. Yeah.
I was really surprised. I didn't go in knowing too much about it. I tried to steer away from it. I'd seen a trailer, but I thought, right, let's just jump straight in, and it was brilliant. Great watch.
Yeah, I agree. We had Sean Anders on the podcast literally 2 episodes ago, the director of Spirited.
Of course, yes,
and really cool. Like, so interesting, when someone like that's talking about how they've made such a big movie. That's just great. Really good one, Spirited. I think that'll be a Christmas movie that hangs around, I think. I hope so.
The songs are fantastic as well. It's brilliant.
Catchy.
Yeah. Really,
good.
Really well matched to the comedy of Will Ferrell as well, and Ryan Reynolds, and it plays to their strengths. So I thought at first, and I've read that they've sort of said, they were worried about how they can't hold a note in terms of singing. I thought they were great. I thought it complemented them perfectly.
I tell you what is it? Voice tune? Yeah, can do anything these days.
Auto-tune, yeah.
Auto-tune, thank you. Have you ever sang, Kyla, in anything?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've done my fair share of background and session work for your X Factors and stuff like that. And
you're a proper singer. Okay.
I wouldn't say a proper singer. There's no recording contract.
There we go. We
started her off now, Giles. She's going to be banging on about all these bloody.
Don't be a hater. All right, don't be a hater, Mr.
Benjamin. We get it, Kyla. All right.
What's that brilliant documentary? Is it 1 foot from stardom or 10 feet from stardom?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
That's so good about the backing singers. And how
yeah,
they all,
that was,
you know.
it's just wonderful. The rock stars and backing singers, and yeah, it's just, I love music. Music is everything. And even when we're working on films and kind of establishing characters, making sure that I know what their musical interests are is hugely important for me to even find out who the character really is, and for me to get into that character. And working with Sam Bradford as well, he always has the music just right on set. He sets the tone so perfectly, and that just having that energy going, it just, and there's a scene where I walk in like the middle of the heist and during the dream sequence for the payday, and like Bradford goes to me, he goes, "Oh, what song do you want?" And I was like, I don't know. I was like, Beyonce. It's like Beyonce Party. That's what it is. And we just had to keep, we were playing it over and over and over again. And I was like bringing out my inner Sasha Fierce, and it was just an awesome moment. And he playing it in slow-mo. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so badass right now.
It was indulgent, Giles. It was indulgent.
Yeah, but you need that. I think I do think you need that. Yeah, exactly. That was it, love. Now you're watching it in slow-mo. Come on now. We've done this many times.
There's an extended cut of the payday somewhere with the full slow-mo.
Yeah.
I like that you said about, a song in the character and finding what your character likes as their songs. Because often it's animals or it's, relationships or what they've done in the past. But songs are a really good way because that gets you right into what people like. If they like Phil Collins, that's a certain type of person. They like Beyonce, it's that type. And I think do they like jazz? Do they like, opera? That's really cool. Sam Benjamin, is that something you've ever thought about?
Yeah, I'm similar to Kyla as well, and I think people who watch the payday will probably see there's kind of two musical almost characters within the payday working alongside the plot. And for me, especially as a writer, I always write to music. Music is the unlock for any story for me. And as an actor as well, very much in terms of getting into a zone or getting into a mood. And I realize the older I've got, the more most of my all-time favorite movies have a killer score and or a killer soundtrack that really weaves into the characters. So yeah, music is a big, I grew up in a family that just has music playing non-stop. So yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Thing, yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about, the payday, how it came about. Because obviously you guys had made a short, even though it's similar, it's not the same. And I think maybe that's really interesting to talk about how you guys started together, how that came about, the relationship, and actually then going, let's make a feature. Because it's very hard to make a feature. It's difficult. Now. You've been through the trenches. You've done it. And you realize what it takes to get that movie onto Amazon, onto Sky, etc. It's a lot of work. It's not just simple as pressing record on a camera with some idea. There's a lot goes into the back of making it. So when you started to work together on the short, was it always the intention, Sam Bradford, we'll start with you, to turn it into a feature? Was that the idea for you?
I want to say yes, but that was our first outing together. I'd worked with Sam on something very kind of quick beforehand, and when we got together for the short, we were having fun, but we were also kind of feeling each other out as professionals. I know that Sam and Kyla knew each other long before I'd stepped into the picture, but it was, I think, an opportunity for us to flex our muscles in the short world. And then we came out with it with a kind of lightning in a bottle effect, where a lot of people were like, oh, I wanted to see more. Like I loved it, but I didn't want it to end. And we were looking at each other going, oh, hang on, maybe we've got something. And it wasn't long before we started talking about how do we grow on this? How do we make this something bigger? But as you know, life gets in the way. The house needs to get paid for, otherwise that roof isn't, going to stay over your head. Yeah. So we branched off on our own adventures as filmmakers and storytellers, but we always knew we would come back. It was just finding the right script and finding the right time for us all to do that. And luckily, we managed to come back together and put the payday onto paper. And we ran with it. We were told, all throughout those years between the short and the feature, you guys have got to do something with that and those characters. But we didn't want it to necessarily be a direct link to the film. We didn't want people to have to watch it and understand it from seeing the short first. But we wanted to sort of, I don't know, tip the hat to what we had done there and just go bigger with the Payday. Hopefully, I think we did that. I think we did that well.
No, you definitely did. You definitely did. It's a fantastic movie. It's really interesting. It's got so many great tropes, so many great performances, really well shot. It's got what you need, and it's, you know, a testament to indie filmmakers going out there and going, let's do it. You know, and that's what you've done. You've achieved that. It's really hard, and you've achieved it with aplomb. It's great.
Don't stop.
Thank you.
Go.
My full review can be further. So, Kyla, Sam Benjamin, you wrote this together. I know it's a lot of story by both of you, but what was the process there like? How did you? I mean, I imagine, Sam Bradford, you were involved as well. You know, in terms of, okay, how do we turn this into a feature?
He kept getting us to bloody write it again. It's really annoying.
Bring me something worth doing.
I love that, mate. Don't send me shit. I'm not reading that again. Do it again. I love it. No, talk me through how that process worked. What was it? Who was pushing it? Who was the one? Come on, let's sit together and do this.
Well, I'd never want to sit with Sam Benjamin. It's always such a. But yeah, it's tough. It's really, really tough. So, with all that grueling work, I just thought, you know what? no, I mean, I kid. No, it's
I can't be asked. Yeah.
No, I think as is, like the fact that Sam Benjamin and I, we always love to kind of catch up and have these sort of like kind of coffee catch ups and just talk about the things that we love most and enjoy. And when Sam Bradford was like, you know, let's get something on paper for the feature. Let's do this. You know, now the time is now of sorts. We were like, okay, well, let's kind of do what we did with Double Cross and let's just go back and forth, shooting ideas, picking each other's brains, and just kind of getting something down. So I would throw ideas at Sam. Sam would throw ideas at me, and then he'd go off and write it and then send it back, and I'd read it again and add little bits and pieces to it, and then he'd go off again and just refine it. And we just kind of play to each other's strengths in that respect, really. And then when all was said and done, we finally sent it over to Sam Bradford to get the AOK green light, and that was the script, really. And it's kind of crazy because the Academy have asked for a version of it, and it's just like, how did that happen? You know,
wow.
But, you know, it's just
wow.
It's really taken on a life of its own, really.
That's amazing. Those moments where it was difficult to write, though, those moments where you got stuck in a corner or in an elevator, in this case, or in a room where you're like, you've just been shot. How do these characters get out of this? How do they move forward? How does it help with the, you know, their arc of the characters? How did you find those moments when you were struggling to get out?
I think it's a great question because there's so many drafts as there are with any good feature film that gets made. And I worked with the director recently, and he said a script is never finished; it's just abandoned. Because there's always things, even when you watch it again, you go, oh, I could have, you know. Oh. So I think it was a combination of that was the bonus of having three people, because I guess my role in the script was on the more pure screenwriting structure level. My job was more so I kind of saw myself as, because Bradford and Kyla often have really awesome ideas that actually got us out of situations where we were stuck. And then I very much, when I was approaching it, wanted to make sure, you mentioned good tropes. I just wanted to make sure that we had the safety of tropes of the genre and beats and turns of a well-rounded feature film from which we would then be free to try different things. And also there were lots of parts where we were stuck because of budget limitations, or even I or Kyla would have a scenario, and then with the low budget in mind, and then Sam Bradford would go, you know what? Can we just not do this? Can we just have this a bit? Can we just go for it on this one? And we'll figure it out. And you're like, all right, you asked for it. You want more characters? Okay. don't come crawling back to us because you can't
have your steady cam because we've got 16 extras in this scene.
But I do remember there was one of the scenes that takes place in a room or a large open plan floor space was actually meant to take place on a rooftop, but because of weather and time, we had to. I remember Bradford called me and just said, we can't do the rooftop, we can't risk it, so can we? And then whilst we were shooting something else the following day, Bradford walked me up to this new area and was like, right, we're thinking, can we rejig it so it happens here and that happens there? And I know it's not what we originally planned, so it was just a case of bouncing off each other and coming up with solutions. And I always remember Christopher Nolan said something where logic can normally get you out of most situations, so you just follow the logic to the nth degree, and then hopefully you go, oh, hang on. Yeah, that's how they get out of that. But at the same time, sometimes you just got to go, the audience is going to have to go with us on this one. Stretching it a little bit here.
Yeah, sense of disbelief. But that's that's the magic of movies, isn't it? We can do that because we've all seen movies. We know if someone gets shot or something bad happens, they'll probably come back. The baddie will come back. Or if someone gets punched, they get knocked out instantly for 10 days. In real life, it just doesn't happen.
Or selective hearing of
selective hearing.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
No.
Or the opposite, where you can hear through walls. I mean, that's movie magic, isn't it? Which is just part of it. You mentioned there, Sam Benjamin, about writing for budget. Did you already discuss this and say, look, you knew at this point how much money you had or didn't have?
Well, do you know what I actually just remembered whilst we've been talking is, I don't know whether Bradford and Kyla, you remember this. I think about 2 years before we ended up doing The Payday As It Was, I kind of put together a rough draft of a feature film version of Double Cross that was more of a Ocean's 11 money is no object kind of story. And it was outside the steps of this, the Grand Cathedral in Paris and, all this kind of thing. And I think also us three, because we've worked together before, we also were very realistic. And I guess Bradford would be the person who's more experienced as a producer director who can look at a script and go, right, we're probably going to need this amount of money. So I don't know, when Kyla and I were discussing story and things, I think it was just a case of on the side of practically being cautious. And then often, I don't know whether I felt that Sam Bradford, because he's a very visual director, would always he'd come up with an idea that was higher budget, but he would already have thought about the consequences of it. I don't know whether you felt that as well, Kyla, or
he's very savvy Braddy.
But did we have a specific budget? Brad, did you give us a brief and say, listen guys, can we? I can't remember.
There was, I just kind of told you guys, write a movie, and then when I got it, it was like, okay, how do I do this?
So you're saying we could have written it for 10 mil, and you would have made it work.
You have to go and you go. No, I think it was a case of I remember saying to you, Benj, after one of the many drafts, can you just put a bit of car action in there, please? Yeah. And he just, and I had no idea how I was going to deliver that, or how we as a production would source that and do that. But I was like, give me something else to play with as well. It was just one of those. It would be great if the movie could have this. Okay, great. There it is on paper. Okay, how do we manage that? And then it's just pooling your resources and working out how can we get close to what's on the page and what's in our heads. So it was more if this was our only swing at the ball, let's just go for it as much as we can. And there are some really nice things that we shot and some really fun things that didn't make it into the movie. For how this game plays, Giles, certain permissions in terms of songs and stuff. We have a karaoke scene.
Right. Yes.
It was so much fun.
Beyonce sent me on.
She's back, baby. She's back.
But to this. There's elements, there's scenes like that just will sadly forever not see the light of day because budget needs to also be allocated to all of the headaches that come after you filmed the movie. And but but we just went for it and shot everything that we could because we wanted to give our utmost to it, because this could have been our only go. And, it won't be, but,
it won't be, no.
We wanted to give it 110%.
Did you know about locations? Was the locations, did you have, because you've got a lot in the office, this big office space, and it's beautiful and it looks nice. You've got the lovely views. Was that already an option? Did you go, let's write it for this specific area to do the heist in type thing? Or did you try and find that after, Kyla?
Well, fortunately, Bradford was great in sourcing that, because it was during we were just coming out of lockdown. So the fact that, the majority of London was still very, very, very quiet, was hugely beneficial to us. And where we shot was actually a new, office kind of development site in the Docklands in the east end of London. And Bradford had done some promo work for them prior to. So when we were developing the script and developing the story, I think, Brad, I'm sure, Brad, you're the best person to speak about this, but you had it in the back of your mind that, I know some people who might just, if we ask nicely, might let us use it. And considering, as we said, during lockdown, there was no other businesses in there. There was no one else who needed the space. It was the perfect playground for us. It couldn't have been more perfectly timed. And we had our run of the place, to be honest, literal run of the place.
See, that makes such a difference, doesn't it? But you didn't know that when writing it.
Oh, no, not at all.
I think we wrote generally for a location that was a bit of a office block type, or some kind of building with multiple floors. But then I can even remember Bradford going, I think just simple things like, it's not going to have 7 floors now. It's going to have this many floors. So can we adjust that, please? And then, we don't have this kind of room. There isn't a caretaker's utility room, so can we have this? How about a boiler room? Does that work? Or, things like that. So it was just constantly adjusting each time.
But I think that's what you do. You do adapt. But I think it's that fine balance, isn't it, when writing a script, when you know you're going to make it for very, very little money, is to go, okay, well, let's not go too crazy, but also we need to tell the story. We need to get that across in the right way. It is easier to adapt later, like you say, change it from a meeting room to a boiler room or whatever. It is easier to do that. You go, okay, well, and I imagine you came across this issue, which I had a lot on the Dare, was this room has no doors, or it's only got one door. So how does someone get out the other side, and how do they not get seen? All that kind of stuff, and you just have to magically make it work. It's wonderful, that side of filmmaking, but also it can be horrible headache because you've got it in your mind. Let's talk about that then, because obviously the screenwriting side of it sounds great. It sounds like you just got it down on paper and loads of drafts later, a lot of work went into it, but you're like, hey, let's go shoot this. Let's talk about that side of things, just go and shooting it. And I love that attitude of, hey, we're just going to go shoot something. That's brilliant. It really is. It means, you've
and credit to Sam Bradford, because I can still remember the meeting where the three of us were there, and Bradford had kind of arranged this meeting because it had been a couple of years, and he was saying things like, so what are we going to do with this? Are we going to do anything with it? And I guess we could chase this funding, or we could wait for that, BAFTA, whatever, or BBC
Cheers,
films
BFI.
this, and BFI this, or maybe we could, a Creative England, if we could play on the regional factor, or we could play on Kyla's female, lead thing, or ticking all these boxes. And then Bradford just said, or why don't we just make it ourselves?
Yes, yes.
So it was that phrase, and that's what set the ball in motion.
I love it. And but how did you go about that? Because that's great.
Bradford, how did we?
It is all about that.
I'm still trying to work it out, if I'm being honest. I think we first of all took a stab at working with the full production team, so all of the producers and like the support crew that were already signed up. We was trying to first work out, okay, we've got this script. None of us had done a feature before, like from the ground up.
Wow.
How many days do you think this is going to be? And it was literally almost like, like when you just open a book and you just put your finger on a page, it was like, okay, we're going to say 22 days. And we worked from there trying to work out, okay, it's going to be tight, but why don't we do this many pages in this day? And we worked out how locations we needed, and then the headaches that go with those locations. You know, we wanted to shoot outside St. Paul's Cathedral. We wanted to make sure that London was felt every time we were outside in some way, shape or form. And then it's like, how do we do that without, knocking on the door of Westminster Abbey and saying, can we please shoot here and stuff? And I think it really kind of boiled down to identifying, what was key. That was like the biggest location that we needed was the mechanism for where the main brunt of the movie takes place, and then littering around that. Okay, we've got this important location. We definitely need to scout for here, scout for there. I've already got somewhere lined up for that. I know people here. I can just email them, and they'll just send me what I need to keep security off my back for that time there and stuff. And we really rolled with it. So after we had the meeting that Sam had just sort of spoke about, Sam and I spent a day walking around London with the cinematographer. And we was like, this will be good, this will be great, this will be good. Okay, cool, jot that up. We sent that to Kyla. Kyla's like, great, love it. What about this? And we're like, oh yeah, we forgot all about that. Okay, great, let's go back out. And we just rolled from there. And then it was a case of just jumping, Giles. Like, there was a point where it's like, there's only so much more we can do. We've got everybody lined up. People are saying yes to this. We've worked out costs. We've done our bargains, and we've, I love agents and I love agencies. They're great. Yep. But for an indie working with a small budget, sometimes you just need to go straight to the source and try your luck. And very much behind our movie is an ethos of, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah.
And we did that, and I think we're nice people. I think that worked in our favor. Wanted to help us.
True.
And we played circumstance to our advantage. As Kyla said, we were coming out of lockdown. The country was still trying to work out how to conduct itself after such a global, everybody sort of was trying to still work out how to do things, and that offered us opportunities I don't think we'd have if we were trying to make it now or before the epidemic, the pandemic. So we were fortunate in terms of the timings, and I think it was just our decision to jump that made it happen more than anything else.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix's Remarkably Bright Creatures. What if a Pacific octopus held the key to a mystery that could heal your heart? Well, that's Tova's reality. An elderly widow working at an aquarium, Tova forms an unlikely friendship with the curmudgeonly Marcellus, whose remarkable intelligence leads her to a life-changing discovery. Remarkably Bright Creatures is now playing, only on Netflix.
Did you do it? Did you shoot all in one block? And did you plan that that's what you wanted to do? Because that's the first thing. Is sometimes setting a date is the most important thing. It's like, look, we're going to go make a film. Great. And everyone goes, great. But there's something that doesn't move the needle forward. And it's often one person going, right, this is it, guys and girls. This is when we're doing it. And it's great because everyone goes, okay, great. Or could we move it back a day because I've got a wedding or I've got this, that, right? Because you're all probably doing it for the love of it. You're doing it because you want to do this and get this made. So therefore it has to work around your lives as well and your work and your schedules. But making a feature film, it's once in a lifetime. You're never as free as that first time. It's like
like a virgin. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. Because after that, it's all very different. Yeah. But it's that initial seed, that initial go, pressing the go button of here is the date. Is that something you did? Did you sort of all go, look, this is the date and we're going to shoot in a block and hope everyone's free and hope we can do it?
Yes, I think it was a case of that. We did have another incentive, and that was that Sam Benjamin had his green card accepted. Whilst all of the prep was happening,
and I had a deadline. You got to enter the country to activate it by a certain time. So it was like a kind of a real life Mission Impossible time limit that we then had to.
Yeah, all of a sudden there was a clock on making.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There you
that
go.
actually probably really helped because you're like, look, we have to do it before this date, otherwise we've lost Sam Benjamin.
And Giles, they couldn't find anyone who could come close.
Stop
as
it!
well,
Stop it!
to replace.
Let's not.
That's what Kyla said. That's what Kyla said.
That's what she said. She
did like
I've
1,000
seen it.
auditions.
No one came close.
And said, listen, I've tried my best to get you out of this, but
But you have to do it.
God
You
help
have
me.
to do it. So you chose. So now you've got a date. Brilliant. It honestly does make a difference. You set that date. It's like, okay, well, we've got to do it now, and the pressure's on, and it's frightening. And you think, oh, we've got a month or two, or whatever it could be, maybe more. But suddenly that time disappears, and suddenly you've got 3 weeks. You're like, oh my god, we haven't sorted this, we haven't sorted that. Talk us through that time period, because it is wonderful and frightening and horrible, and is it ever going to come together type period. What can you remember from that period, Kyla?
Well, it was kind of crazy because I had given birth in 2019 and then in 2020 and was still breastfeeding by the time that we came to actually shoot the film. So it was the first time, the first day on set was the first time I'd ever left my kids, like, to go back to work.
Oh my gosh, of course.
Yeah, so it was a bit like, what am I doing? Oh my gosh. And it was one of those things where I remember my husband, who's also an actor, he said to me, Kyla, remember who you are. You are Kyla Frye. You are an actor. You are a filmmaker. You're a badass bee, and you're going to go in there and do what it is that you do best. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Okay. And it was
You're Sasha Fierce, baby.
And it is that. I think it's a reminder, and I know that's a thing for a lot of mums who are going back to work or finding their place back in the world and reminding themselves of who they are, what it is they love to do, and filmmaking is and creating movies is as much my baby as my babies are. Do you know, it's something that I've always loved doing. And when you're doing it with people like Sam Benjamin, Sam Bradford, who are not just my colleagues and my collaborators, but they're also amazing people and my amazing friends. And they were so supportive and considerate of that. And we were really able to kind of work with each other. Because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm literally, as I said, I've still got babe in arms. How am I about to do this? How am I about to leave them for like 3 weeks? Unfortunately, as I said, I had my husband. He's a great dad as well, and he was on hand. Fortunately, he wasn't like on set or anywhere himself, so he was able to look after the girls, and we just made it work. And I think that's the beauty and brilliance of being a mother, because we just make it work. But that's the beauty and brilliance of being filmmakers. We just make it work by hook or by crook, and we get it done. And I'm so proud of what we've been able to do, because we were up against it, but it does feel like it's very in keeping with the film. It's very in keeping with the characters, because it's like when you're up against the wall, what is it that you do? It's the making of you, or the breaking of you in some cases. But we did it. And so the pressure was there. The pressure was very real. But like I said, if you're working with amazing people, it all seems to come together. And it did.
Kyla, I seem to remember your first day and you told Art to send away the non-alcoholic wine, and you wanted...
Let's get down to the real stuff.
The truth comes out. Here we go. I'm away from the kids. Give me wine.
It's my first day away from the kids.
I remember that day very differently.
And didn't you claim that it was because your method? Is that?
Of course.
Yeah.
It's like, if you want the real deal, come on. Let's not scrimp.
Yeah. Why not? I like that. So basically, you're saying you shot in 3 weeks. That was your shooting period, is that right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, 3 weeks. Certain parts of it were dictated by the availability of certain talent, but we blocked together as much as we could, especially when we were in that big building. If everybody was more switched on and in tune with everything that we had to shoot, I felt like that would serve the film better, because everybody was familiar with the space, right down to the runners and the production assistants, all the way up to the DP and the Steadicam ops. Like they would know where they need to go, because as you know, on an indie, you've got to shoot probably more than what you really should per day. So time was really of the essence for most of the 3 weeks that we shot, to be honest.
Yeah, it just time is your worst enemy and your best friend. It can go within seconds, and suddenly it's 5 to 7. You've got to be out of the building by 7. Yeah. And I tell you what, the amount of shots you can get done, suddenly the crew go crazy. It's like, we want to go home. We have to get this done. It's quite amazing how you think outside the box in those moments as well. That big set piece you had planned becomes a wanna, you know. But it works just as well.
In the director of photography's eyes when he realizes he's got 30 minutes instead of 2 hours to
yeah. But to give credit though, Sam Bradford, I remember when we did Double Cross, we did 12 pages in 12 hours. That's what always always gave me the faith that no matter what we were up against, we were always going to be able to get it done. Because if you could do 12 pages in 12 hours, that's like miracle making. Do you know what I mean? Not just movie making, it's miracle making.
It's miracle making, and I think that's what's great about indie filmmakers who've gone and done that, made a short or 700, and they've literally gone in a day, friends round, how can we shoot this? Let's do it, let's put it together. Oh my God, you learn. You learn so quick. You didn't need all those wides. You learn so quick how you can double up your shots, how you can get 2 out of a 1. You know what I mean? You just do. You spend so long on certain shots that you didn't need, certain times, stuff you didn't need, and you can only learn by doing. And once you've done it, you go, okay, for next time I won't do that. And especially in the edit room as well, you learn so much more in the edit room. You go, all right, I wish I'd got that close up, or, you know, I wish I'd got, you know, all these kind of things that's what makes you a better filmmaker. You learn, but if you don't do it, you're just sitting there talking about it. And again, that's what I love that you guys have done, and you've just done that. Let's quickly talk about money side then, because it was this literal, did you have anything? Is this something that you went, look, we had a bit, we managed to find some money? Did you do any crowdfunding? Did you do any sourcing that way? Or was it, we're just going to do this with our own savings, pennies, or we're just going to do favors?
Well, we ventured down the crowdfunding route before, and that's so difficult, especially when there are, you know, so many platforms to crowdfund from, and it in itself is a job, just raising the money to feel confident enough to go out and shoot something. So we first identified what's our immediate hard costs, like what have we got to pay for, and then that of course was location and people's time. Fortunately, I'm in a position where I'm part of a production company called Praxima, so we were able to lend the kit, and we crewed, you know, most of the film through the production company on kind of borrowed time, I guess you can call it. And then it's a case of working out, okay, how do we get the money that we need? And again, I come back to that saying, if you don't ask, you don't get. And we have all made good friends on our way up. And I think it was a case of speaking to those that we felt comfortable talking to, that we knew would be interested in supporting us, and not putting any pressure on how much they wanted to give us. And I think that always plays well, because then people feel, you know, that they can trust you and that you're taking them seriously. And I don't want to say risk, but it is a risk to invest in indie film. And, you know, I think it was just a case of being honest and open and showing what we wanted to make, and demonstrating to them that we feel that we can do this well. And eventually it will pay off, if not with this one, but, you know, it should be a launching pad for us all to continue to make movies like this. And, you know, we want to invite you along for the ride. And thankfully, those that we asked really responded well to that, even after I'd asked them for money the first time, and then we'd run out and I'd have to go back and say, can we have some more, please?
Please, sir.
It just worked out. And I think it was just about being open and honest, and really sort of wearing our hearts on our sleeve and saying, we really want to do this. We don't need actually as much as what you'd think. You know, this isn't a Brad Pitt film. This is us just trying to carve a little bit of fun out of the Hollywood movie machine. And it worked.
It can, and like you say, that attitude is exactly right. Ask, and people, if they can, will support, because they believe in you, they fancy a bit of a flutter, a bit of fun, get to come to set, whatever. It's all those kind of little things that, to someone who doesn't make films, is amazing. and you can make it amazing for them. You know, you can show them a good time, treat them well, and hopefully they'll be there forever for you as well. It works both ways. You don't just need them; they also need you, and that you become friends. That's the idea, I suppose, in some way. You know, film friends, and that's really nice. Okay, I love that. I think that's really cool. Did you obviously you did all your paperwork, and did you have to do all your IMs and get all your your company in order and make sure you did your limited company and all that kind of stuff, and get your claim back from your VFI tax credit? Did you? Was that kind of thing that you were thinking about at the time, or was it something you did when you were in post? Because there's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. We were as prudent as we could be during the prep of the film. We knew there were certain things that we would have to come back to. The accountant for the movie, he's a saint, and he was sort of like just very gently pointing out to us after we'd shot the movie, it would have been nice for you to just sort of do this or this and that. But yeah, we set up a limited company
Great.
in respect of the movie, so all of the finances going into the film and coming out from the film spends were clear as day and easily traceable, and we could sort of get that sort of hammered into one corner. The tax relief scheme, and we knew we were shooting all of this in England. We knew we were shooting that we could claim back on from. We were sort of learning that as we went, and being tipped by people that we were working with, and people that were sort of mentoring us through the process, and we were basically making sure that everything either being donated to the film, being spent by the film, was like emailed receipts, everything saved, everything double checked, everything run past the team as a whole, so we could make sure that nothing sort of came back and bit us. And that translates also to like the permissions. Once we had identified exactly what we needed to shoot, do we need paperwork for this? Are we going to get in trouble? Because this was also our first venture into distribution, and those things matter. So it was making sure we didn't cause headaches later, and cause us, more woe.
Yes, that's so good. And one thing that's maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but so many indie filmmakers don't do this, is take photos on set, actual stills, proper stills. And that's the thing the distributors want more than anything else. I mean, obviously they want all the other things they need, but if they don't get those photos, it's because they won't take it from the film. It's not good enough, it's not high quality enough. You're somebody asking people's iPhone photos, you know what I mean?
We've got a great photographer like Ryan O'Donoghue. He's done so much of the work. We worked along with him since Double Cross, actually, funny enough. So he's done the posters, he's done stills, Brilliant. He's done behind the scenes for not just this, but a number of other projects as well. And he is top draw. So like it's quite great to have so many talented people on hand that just believe in your work and that you love to work with as well.
We had a small hiccup where our go-to on set unit stills guy, who's fantastic, and Ryan O'Donoghue, he wasn't available for the 2 days we had Simon Callow on set.
Oh no. Yeah. Oh wow.
And it was like, no, but as Kyla said, we know a lot of very talented people, and we was able to call Tyler Fayosi in. He came and he couldn't believe his luck because we kept that little detail away from him. He turned up and he was like, "Oh wow!" And Giles, you've seen the movie, but it's a very colourful scene that surrounds.
Beautifully shot, yeah.
Scenes and. He was great, but you're so right. And we didn't really, I mean, as Sam said, we know that that's important, but we didn't realize that could be a deal breaker until you get there. No one tells you these things, and it was stroke of luck, and our sort of, I guess, we're like, no, it needs to be more polished. It needs to look more, how do we do that? Let's just get a stills guy in. Yeah, okay, great, fine. I mean, that's going to cost money, but let's just do it anyway. Yeah, fine. Away we went. But important.
And that's testament to you guys as well, for having the nous, for understanding, for probably listening to podcasts, to reading books, to listening to other people, to going to talks, all those type of things that over your time has just sunk in. It's just in there. You can't. You know what I mean? It's someone will say, yeah, we should get stills, and everyone else goes, yes, of course we should. You know what I mean? Rather than going, oh, why? It's a waste of money, or whatever it is, your deliverables and what you have to show of the film. And, shooting the film and raising the money is a really small part of the onion of your film. The iceberg, it's the tip, there it is. But what about all that underneath that no one ever hears about with any of these films is all the other stuff that goes into it, it just never stops.
No.
That whole editing process, the whole delivering. I'm still delivering on certain films from years ago. There's a new country, a new territory wants it, right? You've suddenly got to dub it, or you've got to do this, you've got to deliver in this format. And that kind of stuff is just, no one's going to teach you. You just have to hopefully be aware that you heard it somewhere. Or that,
thank God for the internet.
Right,
because there are the resources out there, but you finish shooting a movie, you think, wow, I've done it, and then someone says the word like clearance,
and
you're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, copywritten, we've got it all, and it's like, no, that's not what clearance means. And you're like, oh, okay, right.
It's not, every car you've used, every logo that's in shot, every picture, every single thing has to be checked. It has to be proven that you can use this, and it's caught a lot of filmmakers out, because you've got Sony written across the back of someone, or whatever it is, or you've got a Mercedes-Benz, and they're like, no, you can't use that. And of course you can't. You're like, but why not? We're promoting your brand. They don't care. They're not Apple. Apple are very happy to let you use their products in most films without really asking. But any other is not Nike on a t-shirt. All that kind of stuff. You're not allowed to do it. You know what I mean? But people don't know this.
We had a close call that was thankfully saved in the edit process, where a character makes a phone call based on his car having some trouble.
Right.
The scripted line that character said on the phone was, the engine's just not playing ball. And that came back as a flag, where the car and the brand being
of course.
Fine. But that brand might not like the fact that we're saying the engine's unreliable. Clearance is saying to us, this is during post, clearance is saying, is there a way you could, not have that dialogue in there? And it's like, no. We've already shot the thing. We shot that 3 months ago. That actor's shooting a pilot and a series in Manchester now. There's no way we can reshoot that. And thankfully, it was on a wide shot, and the actor in question, Vincent Jerome, he delivered it in such a way where you don't actually see him mouth the word engine, right? So we just dropped that word out of his line, and in the movie it's like, it's just not playing ball. And we sent that to clearance, and clearance were like, that's fine.
There you go. And little things like that. And which is the other thing to do, obviously, for in future, and generally people listening, is you can do this beforehand. You can send your script to script clearance companies before you shoot, and they'll go through all that and go, which car are you using, what they're saying this. Massively recommend that. In fact, I would say please do.
Well, and also my mum would actually agree with that. Engine trouble with that brand of car. She's had a nightmare this year.
You can get product placement. Like, say, that's another thing you can get on your film. For indie filmmakers don't realise that they can get product placement for a car, and therefore it's cleared to use in your film. We got a Mini, as you mentioned there, for 3 Day Millionaire, and we borrowed a friend's Rolls Royce. All those type of things you can get clearance for. You can get computers for free. You can get food for free. That they'll deliver the food for you to go in someone's kitchen, or to go in. All these kind of things you can get. You've just got to search for it. Product placement companies.
People don't tell you this, and you just assume,
nope.
It's Coca-Cola. They'll never even respond to me. And it's like, actually, they will. It's just working out how you get to them and how you reach out. And it's that whole visage of, we can't knock on that door, they're too big. And it's like, actually,
it's not. It's to speak to the right product placement company, and suddenly it's happening. And obviously Coca-Cola wants their product to be in movies, so it's not a problem. It just has to be done in the right way, not someone dying of a Coca-Cola overdose.
That's a movie right there.
Right there. Coca-Cola will endorse it one day. What was there any issues that happened on set where things went wrong and you had to suddenly think outside the box? Sam and Kyla, one for you first, actors wise.
What went wrong? Casting, I think. Sam Benjamin, like we said, there's 1,000 auditions.
Beyonce singing that. Brilliant. What about for you, Sam Bradford? Any major issues you can remember that you went, okay, I'm glad we did that, or something that our listeners can take away from and learn?
I mean, I don't know if this is helpful, but relying on British weather for scenes that require for scenes that require dialogue outside
Yep.
It's do or die territory, and we had this 3-hour window to shoot outside Alexandra Palace with the view of the skyline, and we had to hire a bench, from props, because the benches there were great, but they didn't offer the right view. And we planted it down, we rehearsed the scene, ready to go. Okay, send them to makeup, get into costume, and the heavens opened. Right?
Welcome to indie filmmaking.
Yeah. And it wasn't just a light, shower. This was thunder and lightning, and we had, I think, an hour and a half left of what we had paid for at Alexandra Palace. And on an indie, you don't have that luxury of, we've got continuity budget, we'll come back tomorrow. Didn't have that. So we were just stood there watching the rain just decimate the bench. We're covering it with our flags and like bounce boards just to try and preserve some sort of colour, because the wood just changed colour. And luckily, after like religiously praying to the above, it just passed so quickly that we just had to like dry the bench down, we shot 2 scenes on that bench, and we just had to work and adapt, because it wasn't supposed to be as dark as what it was, because we had to wait for the storm to pass. And it was like, that's where you need to be flexible and realize, okay, this is now taking place in the evening. It's not there's not going to be a hint of daylight for this moment, and we'll just run with what we've got. So yeah, British weather, don't bank on it. And I think shooting out of sequence, like continuity, it's been mentioned, but we didn't have the luxury of like reviewing dailies. So there was times where we had shot a sequence and we were really happy with it, and then we realized, this maybe needs an extra scene, just a moment. Like, have we got a shot of this person running up this staircase? And it's like, no, we don't. Okay, because she doesn't have the gun in her hand on the scene that follows, but she had it on the scene. Like, do we worry about that? Do we want to get picked up on it? And like what Sam said earlier, like sometimes you just hope the audience will just jump in and accept it, but other times it's that itch that needs scratching. And then it's like, there's no time to fix this remedy. And it's like, do you know what? Right, just run and gun that, and like kind of run up those stairs. It's gonna be what lens have we got on it? Right, okay, it's a tight run up them stairs and shove that gun down the back of the pants, and like that will do.
That's it.
So yeah,
I love that. I love the fact that that's what I love sometimes on indie set. You'll just go, okay, grab the camera, I'm going to go get this shot, grab that shot. It's so sort of fulfilling at the same time as it's better to have it than not have it. And as much as that might freak everyone out and go, hang on, what are you doing now? We haven't prepped, No, it doesn't matter. I just need this shot. Okay, well, people are doing something else. Stick the camera on my hand. I'm just going to move this key in a lock. Yeah. Great, we've got the shot if I need it. And sometimes you don't need it, but it's there if you need to pace up the scene, you need a reaction, you need something. And I love that. So and well done for doing that. But it's, because otherwise you've got to try and come back. You go, we're missing stuff. And quickly, let's talk about selling the movie then, because now you've done, like I say, the hard work. You've got it to where it needs to be. You've done the edit, and now comes the second hard bit, selling the movie and then doing all the good stuff like, getting it ready for them. How did you go about that? Did you go straight to distributors? Did you just send it to them? Did you do screenings? Because again, it's in the middle of COVID, so things had changed. It wasn't like you can put screenings on anywhere. Talk us through that process and what worked for you.
So it was, again, like we didn't know how to do any of that. We had an idea based on what we've listened to and what we've read and what people tell us, but essentially it came down to a lot of push, putting it out there, and a bit of luck for us in our case. We knew our film wasn't necessarily a festival darling, and from a budget perspective, it does cost a lot to take a film to a festival in the hopes that someone there will watch it and then like it enough to come and talk to you afterwards. So we kind of put our eggs away from that basket and put it in another basket of sending it to people we knew and had connections with that could send it to people we couldn't necessarily get it to. And 2 of our EPs, Bo Youngblood and John Iorardi, they knew someone at Vertical Entertainment. Well, they knew someone that had just become a big player at Vertical Entertainment, but they knew him from before. And it was a case of, do you think you could get this to that person? and amongst like many other people on the hit list. And it was that person that actually sort of took a swing and said, I'm going to let my team watch it. And they do this kind of viewing. It's like a special like app that everybody on that team, they go away and they have a weekend to watch the movie, and they all sit in a big massive boardroom. I'd imagine it's really scary, and they say what they liked or didn't like about it, and that sort of D-Day happened, and they came back and they said we like it. And that for us was like a huge like moment where people outside of our circle, people outside of those that of course are going to watch it and be very complimentary.
Always, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Would feed back. They had, they were honest with their feedback, and they said what they really liked about it and what they thought that they could do with it. And then you're left with okay, we've got one. What do we do with this? And we explored many options, and we put it out there. But ultimately, we came back to that team because what they said felt right for our home. Being their sort of location, and in terms of a company that would represent the movie, and what they wanted to do with it was what we were hoping for. So it was a lot of luck, but it was also down to the connections that we had made prior to making the movie and making the most out of that. Calling on people to just give us a chance.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was luck though. I think everything you've just said is based upon prior relationships from creating things that they liked. So I think. The two execs that introduced us to Tony, it was a payoff from, years of prior work. So that, and that's a good, it's an encouraging thing, because you just never know someone who you want to work with or who likes your work, and you're like, oh, why haven't I got work from them yet? Or and then years later you'll align, and they might go, hey, I know someone who bloody love this, and then share it with them.
It's you're right, Sam. Sometimes it's putting that work in the past. It's putting the work in by going to festivals, by going to these places and meeting people, and that is your luck. Luck brings chance, which brings people to your door. Because you're knocking, but they go, yeah, I remember you, or you're doing it the right way because you remember someone who'd met someone who you'd met somewhere else.
Well, they say luck is preparation meeting opportunity, isn't it? And where you've done your work, where you've grafted for however many years, and when you've given the best of yourselves, and you've made those connections, all you need is that one opportunity. All you need is one of those doors to open for you, and that's exactly what happened.
Oh, amazing. I love it. And congratulations. Honestly, the payday is excellent. You've worked so hard, all of you, on this movie, and it comes across in buckets. It looks like you had fun as well. And as much as I know how hard it is to make an indie film, when you're having fun, it makes it all the better. And the fact that you three are friends and that you've come up together from a short to make this feature is incredible, and testament to you and inspiration to those listening and those watching your film. So congratulations. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Well done. Absolute pleasure. Where can people find you on the socials? Let's have a quick run round. I haven't done this one for a while, but I thought I'd do it. Sam Benjamin, where can people find you to harass you and harangue you in LA?
People can harass me via @SamBenjamin now on Twitter and Instagram, or sam@sambenjamin.com if you want to email me, because you want me to be the lead in your new movie. I'm available.
Perfect.
No, and yeah, should I do the plug for the film itself on where people can find that? Or
yes, please.
You can go to @Payday Movie. Is it? Or is it @The Payday Movie?
The Payday Movie.
You're either going to do it, Sam, or you're not.
It's @The Payday Movie for Instagram and Twitter. And then if you go to paydaymovie.com, you'll get all the links to however you want to rent or buy it, whether it be on Apple or Amazon or Google or Sky or Virgin or whichever your preferred outlet is.
Amazing. I love that.
I recovered it.
You did. You recovered it. You did very well.
Barely.
Barely. I know.
Kyla would have done it better.
Where can people...
Hashtag The Payday Movie.
There we go. Where can people find you slaying Beyonce?
You can find me @Kyla Frye or @Kyla Frye Official on Instagram, and or Google. Google's a great place, to find people and find out information.
It's a place. It definitely
is a place.
Sam Bradford.
Don't Google me because
everything will come up.
If you Google me, you'll find an American quarterback who I constantly get angry tweets at overnight where he's not performed well in a game.
They have a go at you.
They're venting at me because the guy isn't on Twitter, and they just find Sam Bradford and they're like,
you should write back if you are him and go, cheers, man.
I don't know enough about the sport, but maybe I should.
That'd be funnier. That's funnier, isn't it? Yeah. I scored a good goal tonight.
Yeah. People can find me on Instagram and Twitter at I'm Sam Bradford, and if you want to keep up with what I'm doing with the production team that made the movie, check us out on praxima.co.uk.
Amazing. Listen, those of you who are listening, this proves if you're nice, if you can slay Beyonce, if you pick a date and you go out and do it, you can go make your indie film. You can make it happen. Believe in yourself and go do it. And if you're lucky enough to rise up and do well, it is your duty to send the elevator, if it is working, all the way back down. Yes. Sam Benjamin, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Giles. Thanks for having me on. It's been I feel like we've known each other for a fair while,
fair amount of time.
But yeah. Finally, we I got off my arse and made something. So
it's true. It's really nice. And Kyla Frye, thank you for your time.
It's been a pleasure, Giles. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Pleasure. Sam Bradford, real treat to meet you. Thank you, buddy.
Cheers, Giles. Thank you, mate. Really good. I love this.
Excellent. Right, there you are. Whatever you're doing this new year, go and do it for you and go out there and make your film. It's 2023. You can make things happen just like this team have done. Go do it. Be inspired. Go make your films. We will see you next Tuesday. As always, we have a fantastic guest coming up in the next 2 weeks. I'm not going to say who it is yet, but he will be Oscar nominated in the next couple of weeks, I imagine. Who knows? What do I know? So we will see you then for next episode. As always, see you Tuesday. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.